and welcome to the Floating Dojo. Today we're going to be going over this Florian stack rune chant build. It is basically a one-turn kill defensive deck that just builds a lot of rune chants and kind of goes for a one-shot kill. And it's a Silver Age legal deck. It's super cool. This is coming off of the banned and restricted, which allowed us to play Rootbound Carapace again. And also knocked down Briar a little bit, which makes this matchup a little bit better in my opinion. And allows hopefully a slightly slower meta, which benefits this deck in my opinion. It's a 40 card deck with a couple cards swapped that we can bring in. Most of our sideboard is equipment for Arcane. But let's kind of dive in and talk about this deck. We're running the Beckoning Haunt new arms from Compendium. This gives us some aura recursion, allows us to play some auras multiple times once they hit the graveyard. At the expense of usually a single or 3 resources, which we usually have left over if it's an off turn or we blocked out heavily. We're also running the Blackstone Greaves, which is the legs from Compendium. As a temper 2, if you deal Arcane, it gets +1. This pairs really well with things like Sigil of Suffering or Weeping Battleground that deal an arcane damage if you banish an aura from your graveyard. This deck runs a lot of auras, so this is often going to be triggering, and we're going to try and get the value for that temper for that. Our chess piece, we're running Blood-Torn Bodice. It is an action to destroy this and an aura, gain a resource. This pairs with a lot of different things. You can blow up a rune chant to get a resource to have a 1-card hand like Chorus of Rotwood. You can also use it to play and then destroy an Arcane Cussing, giving us 3 floating resources to either Plume of Evergrowth or play a second 1-cost aura and then maybe swing the Scepter of Pain, which is our weapon that we're choosing for this deck. It is a once-per-turn action, pay 2, deal 1 arcane to any opposing target. That technically triggers on allies. Create a rune chant token for each damage dealt this way. So we can use that to build a wall of rune chants and basically one-turn kill. The reason that we can make a good amount of them while still throwing a weapon attack is that this isn't a weapon attack, it's simply an action that deals damage and creates rune chants. So this doesn't actually trigger rune chants itself. So you can continually use this weapon to make more and more rune chants without popping the ones you've already created. Let's kind of dive into the deck a little bit. The deck consists mostly of attack actions that are free with our Amplify the Arknight here, which is our main attack action we're running. This is kind of our kill card. We make our big rune chant build stack, and then we throw this for free. That's kind of the game plan. It consists of auras and non-attack actions that make rune chants. And it consists of D-reacts. That's pretty much all we're kind of aiming for here. And everything kind of synergizes about making rune chants. So we have our Amplify the Arknights. The only other attack actions we have is I'm running a single copy of Runic Felling Song. This can, sometimes if you just have the blue, you can play this instead. Deals a little more damage than Amplify. It comes in for 7 + 1 if you banish an aura from your graveyards. This can come in for 8, technically, split damage on top of your rune chant stack, which can sometimes do the trick. We're also running Blue Autumn's Touch here. It's a 3-block blue earth card for decomposing, and Blue Fruits of the Forest, which another blue earth card, which is a little more extra utility where you can discard and gain some life. We're also running Vexing Malice. This card's really cool, as it deals 2 arcane and not 1, and most people don't bring more than 1 AB into Florian because why would you? So this can just kind of get over the hump at the end of the game sometimes and just win for you. The only other attack action we have is in our sideboard, which is a Cadaverous Tilling here. This kind of gets brought into the matchups where our D-reacts don't do as much. We kind of sideboard these out, so sometimes like Wizard and stuff like that, where we're not going to need, all the Rootbound Carapaces, we can throw Arcane Polarity and the red Cadaverous in for our 4 Rootbounds. We have a lot of D-reacts, so we're not going to be able to get rid of all of them, but getting rid of some of them so we can get some extra utility out of the deck, I think is important, which is what those 4 cards are for. The next kind of set of cards in this deck is non-attacks and auras. So aura-wise, we're running Arcane Cussing. Leaves the arena, creates 3 rune chants on your turn. Again, this combos with Blood-Torn Bodice really well, so we can make the rune chants for free, basically. Running Blessing of the Occult. At the start of your turn, destroy this, make 3 rune chants. This is so you would play this, pass, and then next turn you would make your rune chants. We're also running Runeblood Incantation. Enters with 3 counters, makes a rune chant at the beginning of each turn. Obviously, all these are amped by 1, and you make an extra copy. I mean, not amped, but make a duplicate if Florian is online. And we're running Sigil of Sylphidae as an aura, which pings twice for getting rid of auras, banishing from your graveyard, which, I mean, we're already playing so many auras. Having more damage from them once they hit the bin is nice. For non-attacks, we're running, let's see, Read the Runes here, create 3 Rune Chant tokens, just super simple. We're running Arcade Seeds Life, which allows us to make 2 Rune Chants and gain a life, 4 if he's online. Course of Rotwood, which is our Decompose 1 cost, make 3 Rune Chants. We're running Verdant Tide. This is a card I came out in Compendium. I think will work pretty well in this deck. It only synergizes with a few things, but when we have the chance to, being able to play a Verdant Tide and then go into something like an Arcane Cussing into like a Read the Runes, pitching a blue, you know, you'd be able to make make 2 embodiments off of the Verdant Tide, blow up blood, play the Arcane Cussing, blow up the Blood Turn Bodice, gain a resource. You would make 4 Rune Chants from Arcane Cussing, 5 if you had Florian active. Then you could play a Read the Runes to make 4 more, or 5 if Florian was active. So pitching a blue, you still have a Rune Chant of a resource left over on that line. So you could theoretically play, an incantation as well, or something on that turn. So with that line, with just those cards, you'd be able to make 3 if you're online, theoretically, you can make 3 embodiments of Earth, and then make 10 Rune Chants, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, Verdant Tide I think has a pretty high ceiling, which I'm cool with in this format. But yeah, that's it for our non-attacks. Then we have our D-React. So we're running Reduced to Rune Chant. This makes Rune Chants if we control them, which we almost always do. And they're free to play if we control them. Rootbound Carapace, red and yellows for decomposing. Sigil of Suffering for pinging damage to turn on the boots, as well as block for 4 if it's done to Arcane. Weeping Battleground also deals Arcane. And yeah, that's pretty much the bones of the deck here. Our Cyborn equipment is mostly AB and Mage Master boots for the grindy matchup, so that we can double Read the Runes, double Chorus of Rotwood, to push some extra Rune Chant generation and make use of our hands better when we have a full hand. So yeah, this deck is capable of creating 30 plus Rune Chants in a game and blowing them at once, which you will get to see, which is super cool. I got some gameplay ready here for you guys, playing into some different styles of gameplay for sure in the Silver Age meta. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this deck tech. I will catch you guys next time. All right, we run on the stack Florian. We're into a Phi here. They did opt to go first, so we're going to go in second, which I think they're hoping that they can just leak some damage through, which is pretty fair. They can do some pretty wide turns from the start. But I also don't mind blocking first and being able to decompose faster, so both options I think are just fine for us. I'm going to block with the Earth card for sure to start here. These are only blue, but that's okay. We get the draw up at the end, so it does not really matter to me if we take a little damage, or if we block with them early. I think I'm going to just block 2 here. I'm going to let 1 sneak through. Save the 3 block for a possible more damaging on hit. Yeah, I'll block 2. That's fine. Oh, they're going to pitch it to Searing, which makes sense. So they have an ability here to Phi into a Phoenix Flame into like even maybe a 1 for 5, which is pretty good. But we do have equipment. If we have to use it, we have to use it. I'll block 3 here with the seeds. Not ideal, but is what it is. I wonder if they're just going to try and kill us as fast as they can going first, because we probably don't do much going second, other than just setting up Rune Chants. We'll see though, depending on what they throw. Hold on to this, Read the Runes. Do the Bloodied Oval as well, we can block with if need be. And yeah, they're just going to throw raw damage, which is fine. I'm just going to take 4. But we can decompose on turn 1, which is nice if we happened to draw a decompose card, like a Course of Rotwood or something. And we still have all of our equipment block available for next turn, which is nice. Starting at 16 is not terrible. Definitely not ideal, but it's not terrible. Like I said, if I could just leak so much damage, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 on turn 0, which is hard to block out without using equipment. But I think we effectively did pretty well. There we go. Okay. So they're not running AB, which is really interesting. I want to be able to utilize these reduced to rune chance next turn, so part of me is thinking about throwing Plume to just grab the arcane seeds to throw it to then be able to Scepter of Pain after and make another one, then Arsenal the red reduced to rune chant. I think I'm going to. I don't know if that's the right move. It feels really early, but this also is a fast game, so I don't think it's the wrong call. Deals the damage, gives us 3 rune chance, and we get to Arsenal a reduce, a red reduce, which is really good. And we draw yellow, which is even better. So now we're sitting on 3 D-reacts with a read the runes. I feel pretty happy with that hand. We also have the oval available to block with, so I'll probably... Do we have an aura in here? We do. We have a cussing. I'll play this one first, though. There's not really an order that matters, but cover up as much as we can throughout the game and just keep building a wall of rune chance, basically. We're gonna put the Weeping in front of this one. Banish the aura, deal an arcane. They aren't running AB, so I mean we can just build up hopefully a stack of like 10, 14, and then throw an attack and kill them. That's kind of the goal. Playing Arrives in the Ashes again. Gonna block 3. Like I said, if our hand converts to blocking, 9, 10, and then throwing up a couple rune chants and then passing, we can go down to, a pretty low health and still very effectively kill them with a stack of rune chants. Snatch for 4, we're just going to throw this reduce in front of it, make a 5th one, then we'll read the runes and pass. Yeah, he can't fight because that's not Draconic, which is cool. They did not pop a fealty on it, which I wonder if that was what he meant to do, but can't go back. And we haven't used our equipment yet, which is even better. Play Read the Runes and then just pass again. I'm sitting on 8 now, so that puts him down to 10 guaranteed. Nice red Rootbound Carapace here, and we do have the Decompose, which is our 4 block. And then a 3 and a 2 card life gain, or 2 life gain card, pretty good. And this next red Amplify, this might be a good Arsenal target. We haven't drawn any of our Rune Chant Generation. Turn over turn our Malefics or our Incantations, which is fine. We kind of want to be online usually for that, but in a match this fast, sometimes you don't even get to do that really. Excuse me. We just need to race them down. I'm honestly going to try and get through this turn without using the Rootbound, so I can just Arsenal it and shut down a big turn from them. I'm assuming they're just thinking about their hand here. I mean, they have to think about how they can most effectively get over the top, which is difficult sometimes when you're 5, you don't draw the right starters. Deciding when it's best to pop a fealty to make a turn function instead of popping it to extend is a hard decision to make. But I'm wondering if our Fi just left the game here because he's not. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, so he was deciding on popping the equipment without blocking with it, which, yeah, that's a tough decision to make for sure. Coming in just for 2 damage. This is not relevant damage to me. I'm gonna just take 2. It's not Draconic, which I would have assumed he would have popped the fealty on it probably to make it Draconic so that he had his Draconic starter. Because, yeah, now it's interesting. I'm gonna guess he did not mean to do that and meant to pop the fealty. We're gonna banish the Plume, Autumn's Touch, and go read the runes. That way we can keep 2 in there for our next one. Yeah, I think he meant to. I think he meant to pop the fealty on the Tiger. Which, if he wants to go back and restart the turn, I guess that's fine. Whatever. It still doesn't have go again, though. So I'm still gonna. Here, let's just. Let me let him redo that. Maybe he's literally just going to throw Emberblade and pass on this turn. I mean, that's fine with me if that's what he wants to do. I'm going to use this opportunity to throw a little damage, though. I think we honestly gain life with fruits. Throw Amplify for a guaranteed 8 to put him to 10 with the Amplify the Arcanite for 6 more on top. And then Arsenal the Carapace. Because now we don't need to set up as much. We can just put him down to 10 and then swing. It just gives it more of a buffer. I would have much rather just kept blocking out and building up a rune chant wall, but he kind of just gave me tempo to do this and keep a D-React in Arsenal, which is pretty nice. I'm really curious what his hand composition was that last turn. I wonder if it was all blues or something. He just didn't have a way to convert it. It's very possible. But either way, gives us a little breathing room, allows us to take some damage and set up again to kind of go in for the kill. And we can put this nice Rootbound in our arsenal to cover up a breaking point on their next turn. Which is pretty ideal, I think. They lost that fealty last turn too because they didn't play a Draconic card, so I wonder if he was thinking about that. Nice Ronin here for 3. We do have a nice opportunity to make these temper 2 because we can ping damage with the sigil on this one. I'm probably going to. Because getting the guaranteed damage is nice. Or the guaranteed temper on this turn. It does overblock by 1, but I also don't have a 3 block. So I'd rather just deal the damage and get the temper. Okay, he's coming for 3 with this one too, and then he's going to be able to Phoenix Flame, Emberblade, 3, 3, 4, or 3, 3, 1, so it's 7 more damage than whatever his arsenal is. Could be a 4 power. Let's just block with the Greaves here. We can take 1, that's fine. Taking 1 is not the end of the world. I want to make sure I want to kind of keep this reduce, to be honest. I didn't want to use it this turn because it's going to cost us 3. We can't block with our Bloodied Oval quite yet, which is important to note. But I think taking a little damage this turn is better because then we can set up this incantation, play the Scepter of Pain move, make a rune chant, arsenal this reduce. Then we'll be able to swing the reduce for free instead of having to pay for it. We have such a life lead too, it doesn't really matter. I'll banish fruits, Autumn's Touch, and I read the runes. So we're at 2 in the bin, which is pretty good. I think he's arsenaling a Phoenix Flame, if I remember correctly. Runeblood Incantation, into the Scepter of Pain, arsenal the reduce. Slow and steady wins the race on this one. Got all that blue. It all blocks for 3 though, which is good. So we should be able to like play the reduce, block with 2 of these, maybe even swing one. We'll see. Depends on how much damage he throws at us this turn and what we can hold on to. I'd like to be able to play the sigil, because we do have another sigil in there already, so that's another guaranteed arcane damage. I'll block with one of these vexings. These are great game enders for people running AB1, just vexing Malice over the top. Pretty gross. I expect we'll be able to finish this turn probably above 10 health still. Probably maybe even above like 14, 13, 14. I'm okay just taking 1 here from that Phoenix Flame. I don't really want to waste a block on it. It's kind of useless to me to waste the block on that, especially if we don't have the Bloodied Oval available. I'm going to block with this Autumn's Touch, give us another target for decomposing. Holding onto this reduce for a 4 power, to be honest. I'm assuming he's going to like snatch or something. You know, block 3 with the vexing again. Really just preserve health. Still have half my deck available, and a lot of my generation is at the bottom here, so I'll take the 1. All we have to do is basically get to 8 rune chants and then draw an amplify, and then we just win. And there's the snatch. So this is exactly why I hold on to these 4-powered reactions until the last chain, because last chain link, because if you can shut down a snatch, it's just so much more impactful than blocking off something that doesn't have a relevant on hit, especially in Fi. A lot of their damage is just vanilla damage. And I'm content having no arsenal here because he's on no arsenal. We have 2 options. We could Scepter pitching this, or we could just play it. But we have an aura in our graveyard here, so this just deals an arcane, which is great. And then if I can just draw an aura and block with it, so deal another arcane. There's our amplify we need, which is nice. I'm surprised he didn't pitch 2 into this to do the 5 thing. But we're going to block 2 here to guarantee that Sigil of Sylphidae. Rake over the Cold. That's an interesting... yeah, I'm surprised he didn't pull the extra card out of the deck with the Phi trick there, making the Phoenix Flame. I wonder if he just wanted the resources to throw Emberblade instead. Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to take 4 here. Kind of against the deck and what it wants to do, but we're going to take 4 because we're throwing this Amplify next turn. Puts us to 9. So we'll put him to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. After that one makes a rune chant. And then the Amplify coming in for 6. We'll take 2 here. I really want to play this second incantation. Darn. Okay, well, just gonna take 2. Another target for the Sylphidae, and then if we can get lucky, maybe we can throw an arcane damage somewhere. I'll trigger that one first, that's fine. Ping him with one of these. Just the occult, it doesn't really matter which one we do. And then I'm just going to throw that, and that puts him down to 2, and then this looks for 1, so he's going to have to give me 2 cards from hand, probably, and we should be able to block out from here to then kill him with an arcane spell or D-react, because we have, what, 1 more Weeping Battleground, 1 more Sigil of Suffering in the deck, which both of those will kill him. And 1 more Amplify to be able to play for free. So there's actually 2 blocking from hand, it looks like, and not using the Blade Beckoner Helm, which is interesting. Opting to give me 3 cards there instead of 2 in the Helm. That's an interesting decision. I probably would have gone with just the 2 from hand so you can just do more. Can't do a lot here. Can't deal Arcane on his turn, but that's fine. We can just block. We have a D-react actually, so if he pumps this, we can just Rootbound Carapace. Yeah, blocking that makes no sense. We don't need 2 choruses of Rotwood. But we will block 2 and then decompose to get us online. Seeds, Crown, and then Runes is fine. So now we're online, which is good. Which means we'll make 2 at the beginning of our turn. But it doesn't mean that we'll deal more damage, and we don't have an attack action, so this is a turn where I think Blood Turn Bodice into blowing up our incantation here is a good idea. Because it says no more counters, it's not going to do anything else for us. Getting the resource now so that we can play this chorus for free. Basically, surprised that he's saying, I mean, the game's not over quite yet. I can't kill him. But we'll banish those 2 and then something else. But having 2 embodiments of Earth is very nice for all of the non-attacks that we have in the deck. And we drew an Amplify, which we'll be able to play next turn for free, so we can block quite a bit of this, and effectively should be fine. We didn't draw the snipe, though, to kill him. Yeah, we have to hold that card. So let's block. I want to hold these for the bigger swing, so I'm going to block 2 here. I'll take 1, that's fine. I have to kind of think about the Rake Over the Coals play here. I highly doubt he would. I mean, he doesn't like really win or lose the game at that position, but he ran 1, so I think about the fact there could be another one, theoretically. If we block 3 here, we do get access to Oval, which is nice. I would be very shocked. I'll block 4. Okay, well, we played around it, because I almost thought about not blocking that, and I'm like, if you Rake Over the Coals, we just die. And yeah, that makes... We could have gained life off Seeds, but having the 5 block is just way better. So... nice. Has the blood. He can't play with the Blood Scent, though. Doesn't have the resource. Can't fight either. So he's just going to have to pass here. That was almost really sick, though. He's really close to pulling that 2 damage turn off. The 2 damage off the Art of the Dragon. But we're going to be able to Arcane Seeds here, playing both. Make 1 billion, and then we'll just throw Amplify. And that'll be game. So yeah, I mean, I think just valued our D-Reacts really well and played them at the right times to prevent and block out super efficiently, and then just pushed Rune Chance over the top. So pretty much what the deck's trying to do, and they did it pretty well. Florian here into a Dorinthea. They've opted to run AB3, which is really interesting. We only ever deal 1 Arcane. I'm not sure if this is just like a decision they made based on other things, but we're gonna just... I'm gonna Rootbound with, I think, both of these, because they go down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll just take 1 here, because I'd rather play the Arcane Seeds than lose the value on it by blocking this early. Do lose the value of 2 Rootbounds, but I am okay with that. Start with cards in the bin that we can use to decompose faster. And it's a great turn 1, just being able to play this to gain the life, get the 2 Rune Chance, playing both, nice. Blood Incantation. This is a great first hand into a Scepter. Yeah, perfect. 1 card set up there, card pitched. We pull a card out of the hand and we Arsenal. Nice reduce here. I think we can hold this Amplify till we can build up a nice wall of Rune Chance. And then just throw like, really just, with it being Decimator, we're just trying to throw like a massive stack. Really. This will have it to 2, which is so annoying. That's fine. Block was so tomorrow. I don't mind overblocking by 1, I guess. Makes a Rune Chant on the back end for us as well, which is nice. Also running Mage Masters in this deck. Into these slower matchups, I think having the ability to throw 2 auras out in 1 turn could be pretty strong. And I would much rather be able to do that than have like a 1 or 2 I run the Temper 2 if you deal Arcane. And they're usually having a lot of blues, and they can pitch to our AB or our Arcane damage that we throw in D-Reacts with things like Weeping Battleground and such. So I'd much rather just, yeah, save the damage. Block 6 here. I don't think they're running weird stuff like Pummel, but run an Arcane Cussing here. Honestly, I'm going to blow up with the Bodice. I'm going to blow up the Cussing, get our guaranteed value. We do have 3 floating, so we could Plume this Arcane Seeds back in the hand, but I almost want to save it again until we can get Florian online, so that we don't lose the value. So I'm just going to throw a Scepter here. Ideally, we probably want to have like 30 Rune Chance before we throw an attack, like 20 to 30 Rune Chance, because we want to be able to pull majority of their hand before whatever attack we use goes out. So we're going to go through most of our deck here, just building Rune Chance and just staying alive to try and one-shot them. There's a second Amplify. We can block with this one. That's fine. And then we'll just pitch to reduce here. Because we want to hopefully decompose here soon. Up to 13, which is good. Trying to decide if pitching to make the Blessing is better, or to just not have this left in hand. Or if just playing it's better, and I'm not really sure. I mean, making 1 more now is probably better, but also having not a 2 block in hand is better. Just yellow Blessing. I think we're just gonna make more now is better. Just feels better. Course of Rotwood is a super good card in this position. So we can just try and... We don't have our chess piece, unfortunately, to do it for free. But we can just hold one of these. We may have to take a little bit of damage, but we have the Beckoning Haunt to kind of get us out of super awkward. So we're not taking like a ton of damage. Them throwing Look Tough instead of the axe is great because it doesn't get halved. So this is actually better than really anything we could have asked for. Because I can now just block with the Cussing and the Rotwood. We can just get the Bloodied Oval in there now. We have less health. Actually, that may come in handy later. I'm going to hold on to that. You know, I wonder... Do we have enough to decompose twice here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We do. We could pitch to Mage Masters and then double Chorus of Rotwood. I think that's definitely the move here. Kind of crazy. Because we're gonna make a bunch of it'll help us block next turn too, because we'll have a bunch of embodiments of Earth, and we'll be online in one turn. Kind of sick. I've never been able to double Chorus of Rotwood before. We want to try and keep auras in the deck as well. That's pretty important because we want to be able to banish them to deal damage later. That's more important. So make sure we banish non-auras. It's kind of our go-to here. So we're at 23. Just getting there. Definitely getting there. I think we want to be closer to our 30s mark before we throw our attack, because we want to make sure we're going to get over. They have a full hand of blues. They prevent 12 of it, which means they're going to be sitting at... If we had 12 rune chances, it'll be at 20. So I'm doing the math on how much if I threw 30 and 6 and they prevented 12, 36, 12, 22, that's still, yeah, it would kill them. So we get it to 30. We get to 30, I think we win. That's what we have to do here. Actually, blocking with this is probably better because it blocks for like 5. That's fine. I wanted to plume out the Arcane Seeds, so I might just not decompose that. Cut it down, then we'll just play the Reduce on top of it, which is fine. I think we could probably push this even farther and go for like mid 30s, because if they're running Arcane Polarity and they gain 8 health, we have to think there's 1 Arcane Polarity. Okay, so they can only gain 4 health now, which is relevant. Pull Arcane Seeds out. Play Arcane Seeds, life. Go up to 29. So we're at 29 and we can throw 6 here. I think the question is, do we try and hold out one more turn? Because we don't have a way to make more rune chance right now. The only thing we could do is we could like draw, reduce. 29 and 6 though feels pretty healthy. We're also, now that we're online, that would take their entire hand and everything, that we could just continue setting up again. So I think we're going to just go for it here. We hope we caught him with like even one red would be nice here. Okay, caught him with 2 reds. So I think we just win. We just kill him. Yeah, that's the power of the one shot. I mean, making 29 rune chances, you know, how do you combat that? And he just effectively prevents and blocks out so strongly for the whole game with all these D-reacts. Having Rootbound is just so good. And yeah, overall, though, that was a pretty cool game. All right, we are running this Florian stack Runechant deck into a Viserai. We opted to go first so that we could try and set up a little bit and do some shenanigans. So they're running AB0, which is interesting. So that's kind of something to note. So that actually will allow us to do this little line right here where we can just guarantee make a Runechant off of the Scepter of Pain, and then guarantee our cussing blows up, which is pretty sick. This hand converts to no offensive damage, but blocks out very well. So we're going to probably just play super defensive this next 2 turns, because I don't even think we're going to need all of these. We might let 1 Arcane slip to play the Polarity. But yeah, I mean, that was probably about as good turn 0 as we can get. Playing a cussing, blowing it up with the Scepter of Pain, dealing the damage, and then getting 4 Runechants, passing with an arsenal of a sigil is pretty solid. Curious if they just left because they didn't bring our AB. No, they're here. Okay, cool. So they're playing a Mob Skies into a Vexing Malice, which is pretty good. We're gonna take that AB because we can Arcane Polarity here. They're not on Reaping Blade, so we don't have to worry about the life gain, which is nice. I really hate taking 1 here, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna just play this one to guarantee our Runechant Curation. Kind of sucks to overblock it, but I don't want to waste an equipment on a 1 block with no relevant, like super relevant on hit. We'll take the 1 because we still have that Polarity. We'll play the Sigil of Suffering here, deal an Arcane. And then the end of the turn, we'll be able to Arcane Polarity all those Runechants. And then D-React again, Sigil, Ping. We'll Arcane Polarity here, gain the life. And then we'll just Arsenal the Rootbound Carapace. Didn't get to make any this turn, but I think having the defensive capabilities is just fine. We don't have any Earth cards in here yet, so this isn't active, but this still works as a D-React for 3. So we can still do the thing with it. This is an interesting hand because we would be able to possibly Bloodtorn Bodice, play this Occult on our turn, which could be really nice. He's setting up some Malefics there, which is nice. We'll take the 1 because we will be able to... I don't want this to hit because it just makes an extra Runechant, which is kind of not what we want. I'm thinking about blocking just... Maybe I don't really care if we make the Runechant. No, it's fine. We'll just over block. It is what it is. Gain life, pass. I'm okay over blocking. It's not the end of the world. We do have an opportunity here where we can play the Bloodtorn Bodice line, go to 5, make this, and pass, or we could just pitch to it. I think I'm going to just pitch to it. We'll see a reduce again soon. So I think I'm okay, just especially with some of our equipment block. I'm content just doing that. Setting up a heavy Malefic line here, which is pretty much what he wants to do. He kind of wants to just run us over, but he will eventually run out of gas. We do have 2 blues to pay for some Runechants this turn, which will be really nice, and some equipment. So hopefully we'll be able to not. I really want to make it so that we don't take any damage, so that he doesn't gain the cussing value. He can go maybe 2 wide here. Probably an attack into a Nebula Blade, unless he has like a Rune Ranger Swarm. If he has a Rune Ranger Swarm, this is going to be a really gross turn. Because you could like swarm into Nebula Blade or something like that. Oh no, he's just playing 2 cussings. Oh, and he's just going to blow 1 up. Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, yeah, you want to try and guarantee that goes through. So, super fair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4. So we can block 1, 2, 3, 6, and then block with like the cussing and the beckoning haunt, and then like play the arcane seeds pass. It's probably our best line to make sure he doesn't get the cussing. But then we don't deal damage to him, and he does get to do the thing. So we'll pitch 3 for sure on the fruits here. I think we have to pitch. Yeah, we gotta pitch away this way. We just gotta make sure he doesn't get to do the thing. What we can do is, I hate blocking with this early. We can block 4. He doesn't get his value off of the Nebula Blade, which is important. And then what we can do on our turn is we theoretically could just blow up a Rune Chant and then pitch the Scepter to deal damage so that he loses his cussing. I think it's not ideal, but I think it is the right play just to deny him 3 Rune Chants. Doesn't do a ton for us. I mean, we don't make... I don't know. It's a tough call, but I think that's probably the right call because that's his last cussing, right? And it's better, I think, for him to have 3 less damage coming into us when we're just trying to stay above him in health. That's kind of like the main point of this deck, is to just stay alive. So denying damage output from them is probably better. It's not as better to hold the Buddhist for like a 1-turn hand, but it's fine. Especially with him having a full hand. It's more important to me anyway. And then what he Arcane Polarity at the end of his turn, which makes sense. So the game's feeling pretty even still. I'm sitting on 9 Rune Chants with him having no Arcane, which is nice. Made 3, throws 4. Can do like a Runeblood Incantation to read the runes on this turn with the Verdant Tide, which is pretty good. I'm okay taking a touch of damage here, I think. I'm curious what he arsenaled last turn, because he didn't even throw it. Oh. Okay. So he played the Root Flash and then just arsenal passed. So we're going to Verdant Tide. Incantation. Into a Read the Runes. Pass back. Yeah. At 13 Rune Chants right now, he's guaranteed to hit 7. With a Polarity, he goes to 11. So we got to probably get this closer to that 16, 18 mark. If we get this to 16, he takes these and he goes to 4. No, he has to go to... We got to get him to 2. So we got to do 18 Rune Chants. If we hit 18 Rune Chants, he will not be able to live even with the Polarity. I'm really curious as to what his, like, game plan is here. Oh, I needed to pitch for all 3. I forgot there's 3 there. I feel like he's kind of just trying to play slow to set up for something. Which... like... what could you be possibly trying to do here? I'm just curious as to what his game plan is. We need to start decomposing. Sooner rather than later, if possible. That is kind of the game plan here. I also just don't want to waste... I'll take a Rune Chant. That's fine. I'm gonna pitch away like that and then just arsenal this Reduce. We just got to keep setting up more Rune Chants. I'm kind of hoping he's just sitting on like D-Reacts and can't do anything with them. He's kind of just like stuffed until we swing and attack. I'm not really sure. We'll see. Playing the Condemn. We'll see if he blows up. Yeah, I'll just blow up one of my own Rune Chants. That's fine. Doesn't do much for us. This is pretty good, though, when paired with the Nebula Blade. Makes the Blade come in for 7, which is pretty good. I wonder if he's just choosing not to blow up his Rune Chant. Oh, no, okay, he is. Yeah, so he's holding a reduce, and this is where like this deck punishes people running D-reacts because they can't act like they can't like stop a lot of damage from the rune chants when they're just running all these D-reacts, because the D-reacts just don't. Yeah, so he had 2 reduce runes and he can't do anything with them, so it's kind of like I'm just gonna take a little damage here because we're getting ready to set up pretty hot here. We can go to 10. He's not gonna have an arsenal. And we're going to be able to go Blessing into Occult. So next turn, we should be able to just win. And we drew a red Runic Felling Song, which is pretty nice. We can also Weeping Battleground here and get the Temper 2 off the Greaves, which I'm kind of glad we waited this long to do it. Because we're going to be at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 rune chance with a 8 power attack, or 7 and 1 from the Felling Song. I think we just win next turn, which is it's just crazy. He does block 2, 3, 4, but he's gonna have to pitch to start, or at least it like puts him down to like basically 1, and then we can just kill him from there because he's got no AB. So he's got to get him so low that it doesn't even matter. Okay. We'll take the 1. Coming in for 6 go again. We're gonna block 2. Technically, it'll block that once we Weeping Battleground. We'll get rid of the Blessing. It'll pump that up to there, so we'll block 5. Pretty good. And then we can block 2 with the read the runes there, because we're not going to need it. We're just going to throw Felling Song here on this turn. And I think with them having no Arsenal 2 for sure, I think we can just straight up win this game here. Even if he has the polarity, he just doesn't have enough to prevent it. Yeah. Honestly, the deck's just, it's so punishing to decks running D-reacts and stuff like that, because they just can't get around the losing the value on it, and it makes them really awkward in their hands, especially when they like hold on to them thinking you're going to swing. You just never do. So yeah, super good game though overall.
Yo, thank you guys so much for supporting these videos and watching the Floating Dojo's content in general. It's been super cool seeing so many of you reach out, commenting and just sharing your opinions on these videos as well as the decks I've been playing. So thank you guys so much. I did want to say that I've been looking into possibly starting a Metafy for some of these decks, doing more in-depth sideboard guides for specific heroes and decks that I play, specifically like my main Katsu CC deck, as well as maybe some of the Silver Age decks. Going into ProQuest season for CC, we'll be focusing on more on the Katsu deck again here, and getting those reps in and the matches ready. So we might be doing some YouTube lives as well. I'm getting that all set up so we can do some streaming and show you guys playing some games. So if that's something you're interested in, specifically the Metafy, definitely let me know. It'd be cool just to get just a small sample size of people who'd be interested in it, to see if it's something that's worth doing, if there's people who are even interested in it. But yeah, regardless, thank you again so much for watching the Floating Dojo and supporting the content. I'm super excited to see where this project takes me this year. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys next time.